June 12th, 2025. A day that began like any other at Ahmedabad's bustling international airport, with travelers hurrying to their gates and the first rays of sunlight glinting off the tarmac. Air India Flight 171, a state-of-the-art Boeing 787, 8 Dreamliner, lifts off from Ahmedabad bound for London. On board are 270 people, passengers and crew, each with their own stories, hopes and plans for the journey ahead. Among them is former Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani, travelling with his entourage, drawing the attention of both airport staff and fellow travellers. The takeoff is flawless, the Dreamliner climbing steadily into the morning sky, but just moments after liftoff, disaster strikes. Both engines suddenly fall silent, leaving the aircraft eerily quiet. With no power, the jet begins a rapid, uncontrolled descent. Passengers and crew are thrown into chaos, fear gripping the cabin as the ground rushes up to meet them. In the cockpit, the pilots fight desperately to regain control, running through emergency checklists and trying every possible maneuver. But with no thrust and little altitude, the Dreamliner is now a glider, too low and too slow to recover. Less than a minute after takeoff, Flight 171 crashes just beyond the airport perimeter. The impact is devastating and the wreckage quickly draws emergency responders from all directions. News of the crash spreads rapidly, leaving the world in shock. How could a modern, sophisticated Dreamliner fall from the sky so suddenly and without warning? Investigators from India's AAIB arrive at the scene within hours, combing through the debris for clues. Every piece of wreckage, every data recorder could hold the key to understanding what went wrong. Amid the devastation, only one survivor is found, Vishwas Kumar Ramesh. His miraculous survival offers a glimmer of hope, but also raises haunting questions about the tragedy that claimed so many lives. In the aftermath of the crash, investigators know that time is of the essence. Their first and most urgent priority is to recover the black boxes, the vital recorders that hold the secrets of the flight's final moments. These two devices, the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder, are designed to withstand extreme impacts and fires, preserving crucial information even in the worst disasters. Both black boxes are quickly located at the crash site and are immediately rushed to New Delhi, where a specialized team of experts awaits to begin the painstaking process of analysis. The flight data recorder, or FDR, reveals that the aircraft's takeoff appears normal at first, but then, just seconds after leaving the runway, the plane's ascent abruptly halts at a mere 650 feet. 17 seconds after liftoff, the aircraft suddenly enters a steep, fatal descent, leaving investigators searching for answers in the data. The cockpit voice recorder, or CVR, captures the crew's routine pre-flight chatter. But this quickly gives way to alarm and confusion. Suddenly, a panicked voice shouts, "We're losing thrust!" Moments later, the RAM air turbine deploys, a last resort device that only activates when both engines have failed, confirming the gravity of the emergency. In the cockpit, the pilots issue a strained mayday call. "No thrust! Losing power! Unable to lift!" Their voices reflect the dire situation as they struggle to regain control. Tragically, only 15 seconds pass from the desperate mayday call to the moment of impact, giving the crew almost no time to react or recover. The evidence paints a chilling picture of a catastrophic total loss of power. Now, with the black boxes in hand, investigators must dig deeper to uncover the cause behind this disaster. The cause of this disaster isn't engine failure, fuel loss, or even a flock of birds. It's something far more mundane and unexpected, a failed seat lock. In the world of aviation, where every detail is meticulously checked, a single overlooked mechanism can have catastrophic consequences. As the aircraft accelerates down the runway, the captain's seat suddenly slides backward without warning, pulling the throttle levers to idle. In a split second, the pilot loses control over the most critical controls at the worst possible time, just as the plane is about to lift off. Instantly, both engines lose power and the cockpit fills with alarms and warning lights. The crew is caught off guard, scrambling to understand what's happening as precious seconds tick by. With the aircraft heavy with fuel and barely off the ground, there's no time or altitude to recover. The Dreamliner stalls, and in a matter of moments, the unthinkable happens: a catastrophic crash. This kind of seat lock failure is a scenario no pilot ever expects or trains for. In modern jets, such a malfunction is considered nearly impossible, making the event all the more shocking for the aviation community. When AAIB investigators use flight simulators to replicate the seat slide, the results are chilling. Every time the crash is inevitable. The simulation confirms the terrifying chain reaction set off by a single faulty part. In the end, a tiny mechanical flaw, barely noticed in routine checks, triggered a national tragedy and forced the entire aviation industry to confront uncomfortable questions about safety, oversight, and the smallest details that can change everything. The black boxes reveal a chilling timeline. 12 seconds after takeoff, the captain's seat lock fails, the seat slides back. 3 seconds later, the co-pilot shouts, "We're losing thrust." The engines, commanded to idle, spool down as the jet climbs. At 26 seconds, the Dreamliner stalls at just 214 feet, far too low to recover. The nose drops, the aircraft plunges to Earth. From seat failure to crash, just 14 seconds. A single, unforeseen failure left the crew powerless to save their flight. The investigation exposes two critical design flaws in the 787. First, no reverse motion protection on the throttle quadrant, nothing to stop accidental idle during takeoff. Second, no weight-based lockout for the pilot's seat, no backup if the primary lock fails. Either safeguard could have prevented disaster. Simulators proved with a throttle gate the crash doesn't happen. Regulators had approved the seat, missing this fatal vulnerability. The tragedy reveals how even simple mechanical risks can be overlooked. When safety layers are missing, a single point of failure can bring down an entire aircraft. The findings spark urgent action worldwide. Aviation authorities ground 787s for seat lock inspections. Airlines scramble to comply. Air India grounds a dozen jets, slashing international flights. Boeing pledges a full redesign, stronger seat locks, throttle safeguards, and new safety protocols. The crash forces a top-down review of airline safety culture and design standards. The lesson is clear: even in the age of advanced technology, simple failures can be catastrophic. The legacy of Flight 171 is a renewed commitment to layered safety, so this tragedy is never repeated.